You know, there's something I've noticed when talking to folks over 70 about exercise. So many of them tell me, I used to walk miles every day, or I pushed myself hard at the gym. But now they're feeling more aches, more fatigue, maybe even a little frustration because what used to work just isn't working the same way anymore. And if that sounds familiar, I want you to know something. You're not alone. In fact, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that after 70, our bodies change, and the way we move should change too. That's why today, I want to talk about why you might want to stop exercising so much, and what to do instead. Now, don't get me wrong, movement is still incredibly important, but more isn't always better, especially as we get older. Instead of pushing through long workouts or forcing yourself to keep up with routines that leave you exhausted, there are smarter ways to stay active, keep your energy up, and protect your joints. So today, we're going to go over 6 things you can do instead of over-exercising. Simple, effective habits that will help you feel stronger, more energized, and yes, even younger. And we'll start with the first one, which is all about listening to your body in a whole new way. 1. Swap long workouts for shorter, smarter movement. You've probably heard that walking 10,000 steps a day is the gold standard. Right? Well, here's the truth. After 70, that number might be doing more harm than good. If your knees ache, your hips feel stiff, or you're just plain exhausted after a long walk, it's time to rethink things. Instead of forcing yourself to hit a certain step count, focus on how you move. Short, frequent walks throughout the day, just 5 or 10 minutes at a time, can be far better for your joints and energy levels than one long, exhausting session. And here's the best part. Research shows that these movement snacks can actually improve circulation, balance, and even digestion just as well as, if not better than, a single long workout. So tomorrow, try this. Set a timer for every hour or two. When it goes off, stand up, take a little stroll around the house, or step outside for some fresh air. It doesn't have to be fast or far, just consistent. And if you're worried about not getting enough exercise, trust me, your body will thank you for the gentler approach. 2. Strength training, the right way. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Strength training? Isn't that just for young people? Not at all. In fact, after 70, maintaining muscle is one of the most important things you can do for your health. But here's the key. You don't need heavy weights or complicated machines. What you do need are simple, effective movements that protect your joints while keeping you strong. Think chair squats, holding onto something sturdy if needed, seated leg lifts, or even just standing up and sitting down from a chair a few times in a row. These might sound small, but they make a huge difference in keeping your legs strong, your balance steady, and your independence intact. And here's a little secret. Strength training doesn't have to feel like a workout. You can do it while watching TV, waiting for the kettle to boil, or even talking on the phone. Just a few minutes a day can help you stay strong without overdoing it. 3. Prioritize flexibility and mobility. Remember when you could bend down to tie your shoes without even thinking about it? Or turn your head to check your blind spot without stiffness? Flexibility and mobility are like the unsung heroes of aging well, because when they start to go, everything feels harder. But here's the good news. You don't need to twist yourself into a pretzel to stay limber. Gentle stretches, like reaching your arms overhead, rolling your shoulders, or doing slow ankle circles while sitting, can make a world of difference. Yoga isn't just for the young and bendy. There are plenty of modified stretches that feel great and keep your body moving smoothly. The best part? You don't need a fancy routine. Just take a few deep breaths in the morning and stretch however feels good. Reach for the sky, roll your neck gently, or even just wiggle your fingers and toes. It's not about pushing your limits, it's about keeping your limits from shrinking. Now, we've covered 3 key things so far: shorter movement breaks, smart strength training, and gentle flexibility work. But there's more to this puzzle. And in the next part, we'll talk about how rest, hydration, and even your mindset play a role in feeling your best after 70. So take these first steps. Try them out, and when you're ready, I'll meet you back here to keep going. Because the best years? They're still ahead. You know, one of the biggest myths about getting older is that we need to push harder to stay healthy, as if slowing down means we're giving up. But here's what I've learned from talking to so many vibrant folks in their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The secret isn't about doing more. It's about doing what truly nourishes your body. That's why, in the last part, we talked about swapping long workouts for shorter, smarter movement, strength training the right way, and keeping your flexibility with simple stretches. Now, let's keep going with 3 more key habits that'll help you feel your best, without wearing yourself out. 4. Rest like it's part of your workout. If there's one thing I wish every person over 70 understood, it's this: rest is not laziness. In fact, after a certain age, proper rest is just as important as movement, maybe even more important. Think about it. When you were younger, you could push through a tough day and bounce back by morning. But now, your body needs that downtime to repair, recharge, and stay strong. So instead of feeling guilty for taking a nap or sitting down when you're tired, try this mindset shift. Rest is part of your fitness routine. A 20-minute afternoon nap? That's recovery. Kicking your feet up with a good book? That's recharging your energy. Even just closing your eyes for a few deep breaths counts. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that older adults who allow themselves regular rest periods actually have more energy for the things they love. So if you've been telling yourself you should be more active, try giving yourself permission to rest without guilt. Your body will thank you. 5. Hydrate, but not just with water. We've all heard the advice: drink 8 glasses of water a day. And sure, staying hydrated is crucial, especially as we age, when our sense of thirst isn't as sharp. But here's the thing. Plain water isn't always the best way to hydrate after 70. Why? Because as we get older, our bodies lose electrolytes, like sodium and potassium, more easily. And chugging water without replacing those can actually throw off our balance. Ever feel lightheaded after drinking a lot of water? That could be why. So what's the solution? Try adding gentle hydration boosters to your day. Things like coconut water, herbal teas, or even a pinch of sea salt in your water. Foods with high water content, like cucumbers, watermelon, or broth-based soups, also help. And if you struggle with remembering to drink, keep a glass or bottle where you see it, next to your favorite chair, on the kitchen counter, or by the TV. Small sips throughout the day add up. 6. Move with joy, not just duty. This last one might sound simple, but it's powerful. So many people over 70 tell me they exercise because they have to, not because they want to. And when movement feels like a chore, it's easy to skip it, resent it, or push too hard just to get it over with. But what if, instead of forcing yourself through workouts you don't enjoy, you found ways to move that actually feel good? Dancing to your favorite oldies, gardening, swimming, or even just swaying to music while you cook, these all count as movement. And when you enjoy what you're doing, you're more likely to stick with it, move more naturally, and protect your joints in the process. So ask yourself, what did I love to do when I was younger? Maybe it was bowling, hiking, or playing with the grandkids. Whatever it is, find a way to bring that back into your life, even if it's a gentler version. Movement shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel like living. Bringing it all together. Now, we've covered a lot: rest as recovery, smarter hydration, and moving with joy. But before we wrap up, I want to remind you of something important. None of this is about doing everything perfectly. It's about making small, sustainable shifts that add up to big changes in how you feel. Maybe today, you try taking shorter walks instead of one long one. Maybe tomorrow, you sip on herbal tea instead of plain water. Or maybe you just give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Every little step counts. And in the next part, we'll tie everything together, because the final piece of the puzzle isn't just about your body. It's about your mindset. We'll talk about how to stay motivated, why self-compassion matters more than ever, and how to make these habits stick without stressing over them. So take a deep breath. Try one small thing today. And remember, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. You know, there's a saying I love: we don't stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. And after talking with so many incredible people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond, I've realized just how true that is. Staying active isn't about following strict rules or punishing workouts. It's about keeping that sense of joy, freedom, and vitality alive in whatever way works for you. In the last 2 parts, we've covered so much, from swapping long workouts for shorter, smarter movement to strength training the right way, staying flexible, resting without guilt, hydrating wisely, and finding ways to move that actually make you happy. Now, let's bring it all home with the final piece of the puzzle: your mindset. Because no matter how good the advice is, it won't stick unless you approach it with the right perspective. The power of self-compassion. Here's something I want you to really take to heart. Aging is not a failure. It's a natural, beautiful part of life, and yet, so many of us beat ourselves up for not being as fast, as strong, or as energetic as we once were. But think about it. If a good friend told you they were frustrated because they couldn't keep up with their 30-year-old self, what would you say? You'd probably remind them how much they've lived, how much wisdom they've gained, and how amazing it is that they're still showing up for themselves every day. So why not offer yourself that same kindness? Instead of focusing on what you can't do, celebrate what you can. Maybe you're not running marathons anymore, but you're still moving, still learning, still finding ways to enjoy life. That's huge. And when you approach your health with self-compassion, not criticism, you'll find it so much easier to stay consistent, to listen to your body, and to make choices that truly nourish you. Small steps, big results. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to improve their health is thinking they need to overhaul everything at once. But here's the truth: tiny changes add up. You don't need to suddenly start doing hour-long workouts or drinking gallons of water overnight. In fact, the smaller the step, the more likely it is to stick. So pick one thing from this video that resonates with you. Maybe it's taking a 5-minute walk after breakfast, doing seated leg lifts while you watch TV, or simply drinking an extra cup of herbal tea each day. Focus on that one thing until it feels natural. Then, when you're ready, add another. Slow and steady isn't just easier, it's smarter. The joy of progress, not perfection. Finally, I want to remind you, this isn't about being perfect. Some days, you'll feel energized and ready to move. Other days, you might need extra rest. And that's okay. Health isn't a straight line, it's a dance, with ups and downs, steps forward and steps back. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself, however that looks. So if you miss a day or two, don't stress. If you try something and it doesn't feel right, adjust it. This is your journey, and the only right way is the one that makes you feel good. Your next step. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you're excited to try? Maybe it's something we talked about today, or maybe it's something entirely your own. Share it in the comments. I read every single one, and it's always inspiring to see how you're making these ideas work for your life. And if this video helped you, do me a favor, hit that like button and share it with a friend who might need it too. Age is just a number, but the way we live is what truly counts. So here's to you, to your strength, your wisdom, and the incredible life you're still creating every single day. Keep moving, keep smiling, and remember, the best is yet to come.